What? This is cool water here. Hey.
You what?
Maybe. Yeah, we have to meet at 10:30 for 8:30.
Have you gone before?
Once. It was terrible.
What are you gonna do too?
She was 15. Terrible. Last spring. I don't know the age. But I can go make a text.
With your mom. Mine's my day.
And there's no word in
Yeah.
say it wrong.
But believe me, I know people who,
Give my own trick.
frankly, there's some boards. It's Joe.
Nutrition's really doing it up, huh? One of the carts around the school. Well, that one. Actually, or that 10-3 through 10-8. I don't think I like it. YouTube.
Testing. Testing.
I don't think they're on at all. They must have taken one of them off.
You ready? Jason Lewis. You can handle it. Big Fisher?
And 23 to 10-8.
Right. Well, I need a motion for somebody to do that.
Say,
Good evening, everyone. The hour of 7 p.m. having arrived and passed. Apologies for our tardiness. I call to order the legislative meeting for the Woodland Hills School Board for the month of February 2020. Ms. Hawthorne, will you call the roll?
Mr. Graves?
Present.
Miss Ellickson?
Present.
Miss Lawson?
Here.
Miss Curry?
Here.
Miss Stroxbach?
Here.
Mr. Belmont?
Here.
Miss Scott? Present. Miss Hodge?
Here.
Miss Glasser?
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please observe a moment of silence in recognition of the passing of Jason Lewis, alumnus and parent of the district. Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the January agenda and legislative meeting minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any corrections, additions, changes to the minutes? Seeing none, take the vote.
It'll have to be manual if we combine
That's fine.
them. Okay. Anyone says nay?
We'll need a roll call vote.
Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Miss Ellickson?
Yes.
Miss Scott?
Yes.
Miss Lawson?
Yes.
Miss Curry?
Yes.
Miss Hodge?
Yes.
Miss Stroxbach?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont,
Yes.
Ms. Glasser.
Yes. Mr. Harris, are there any announcements?
Yes. Okay, Hugs volunteers and the Woodland Hills Foundation will be hosting the Harlem Wizards at the high school for a Harlem Wizards versus Teachers Staff Administration game. The game will take place Wednesday, March 18th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Advanced ticket sales have begin on Thursday, March 5th. Please check out the Hugs website for more information. On Monday, February 17th, the Turtle Creek STEAM Academy implemented a new pickup and drop-off procedure for students. Overall, the new process seems to be working efficiently. We'll continue to monitor the progress and make changes if necessary. I'd like to thank Mike Petrogallo, Dr. Livingston, and the Turtle Creek Borough for their hard work in making this a success. Dixon Preparatory STEAM Academy ribbon cutting ceremony is scheduled for Saturday, April 18th between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. More details will be announced at a later date.
It's up to you. Okay. Just skip it. No, it's fine.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Mrs. Ellison?
Oh, Mr. Harris can read if you like.
Oh, the vendor.
Okay, we have the Woodland Hills Intermediate PTA First Annual Vendor Show, Saturday, February 29th, 2020, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. It will be held at the Woodland Hills Intermediate School, 7600 Evans Street in Swissvale. Once again, it's the First Annual Vendor Show, Saturday, February 29th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And it's free admission and open to the public. If you have any questions, please call 412-715-4192. That's 412-715-4192, or this email whintermediatepta@gmail.com. That's whintermediate@gmail.com. Thank you.
Anyone else have announcements? Okay. Seeing none. Student speakers. I understand we have Megan Reichert and Josiah Martin. Good evening. Thank you for being here.
So I wanted to start out by talking about like different clubs and things that's happening within our clubs. So we have a student summit happening tomorrow actually, and it was organized by the recent club that was made this year, 12 Deep. So the different clubs are part of this, obviously 12 Deep, the Future Business Leaders of America, Black Student Union, Interact Club, and Student Council. So basically there are different workshops with the different topics: media relations, mental health and self-care, law enforcement relationships, civic engagement, self-motivation, and role models in the community. So the students of each club got the opportunity to facilitate this. So this is all student-driven. There's going to be people from hold on. What's it called? Okay, the Centers for Victims, they're helping with this as well. So there's going to be people from there. And this is really fun because I don't think there's ever been like a student-driven summit. So this is going to happen all day, and it's something new. And I feel like the clubs all kind of like came together, and it's going to be really fun. So if we could have anyone from the board to come, that would be great. Also, the National Honor Society, they're doing a donation drive, and it's for the people from Puerto Rico following the earthquakes. Okay. Then also the Black Student Union, they have, shout out to Taylor, he's the president. We have a really fun assembly coming up February 28th for the Black History Month. So also, board members, you're welcome to come.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations on Student Month.
Thank you.
She pretty much hit everything. It's not really much I could say, but so, well, she mentioned Black History Month. One thing that did happen also was recently there was also an ice cream social that happened for the seniors, and that was for them winning the pep rally, and that was, I mean, that was really good for them. I mean, I'm not a senior, and unfortunately, I'm lactose intolerant, so I mean, it wasn't that bad for me. And we also did candygrams recently, so people had like near Valentine's Day, so people had the opportunity to be able to like spend $1 for a candygram, for a chocolate heart, to be able to give to people, and to be able to give to people that they care about and people that they want to see grow. Much.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh yeah. I also want to say it's an honor to be able to be up here. I mean, she kind of went first, so she pretty much hit everything. But like, that's an honor to be up here and be able to.
How this is organized. This organization
So it's an honor to be up here. It's an honor to allow you to be able to hear me speak, and I think it's a great thing for you to be doing, and to offer me the ability to be able to speak to you today. So thank you for that.
Thank you for being here.
Excuse me, I have one more guest speaker. This young lady is emerging as a leader in the school. She's an individual who, through our conversations and our, I want to say, relationship building, has allowed me to reflect on some of my practices and some of my personal relationships that I have as well. And I think with the most recent tragedy that happened in the community, her speech to you is definitely relevant and is definitely something that was needed, that I didn't want to wait and push this to the next school board meeting. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Michaela Goodman.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michaela Goodman. I attend Woodland Hills High School. I'm 17 years old. When I was 11, my dad passed away, and it had a huge impact. I was misbehaving in school all the time. I was fighting and everything, and I was using the wrong coping mechanisms to deal with the behavior and to deal with my father's death. I got very depressed, very often. I never understood why I acted this way until my mom brought it to my attention, and she talked to one of my principals, Miss White, and that she helped me to know that I wasn't the only one going through this, and I wanted to turn the anger into something more positive and have a better impact on everyone else's lives, because I knew that I wasn't the only one going through this. So I wanted to get the board's approval to start a program, and it's going to be called HOPE. HOPE is an acronym that stands for Hold On, Pain Ends, and it will be used to help other people deal with trauma and to deal with losing loved ones. This program will not only benefit me, but students and also staff. It will bring awareness as to what we are going through and how we could get through it, the process together as one. This program will give a safe space to speak freely and to give an awareness to show that everyone matters, no matter I'm sorry, scratch that. I want to just be able to help others get through things so they don't have to go through what I had to go through. And no one should go through the process alone. And that's the reason I want to give us all hope.
Okay.
And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Kayla and I have already started the process. We got student signatures. The next step is to sponsor, teacher-led, and then we'll fill out the form. We actually have had a couple planning meetings with For Good Pittsburgh and the trauma support team that we were utilizing last year. So we did all the behind the scenes work. I told her to make it a formal club. We need to pitch it to the board and get the board's approval. So she actually came to me with the proposal. So when I get the rest of the components, I'll bring it back so that we can get the official proposal. And again, we understand it will be a voluntary club in the beginning, and then we'll see how it goes if moving to compensate the. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And that moves us to presentations. Dr. Woods, is there anything further with the students of the month? Do you have a formal presentation for them? All right.
So in line with our WWW, which is today for everybody at home watching, there you go. All right. So we try to recognize students when they're doing good throughout the day in the community, and we get a pool of students who qualify, who recognize, who represent our 5 Ps, and then the staff members vote. So the first winner we have, I believe, going back to last month, was Carrie Ann Martinez Petrie, who is not here tonight. So I'm going to accept this on her behalf and her gift. The next winner is Kendall Jenkins, who I don't believe was able to make it tonight. So I get 2 gifts. Then we have Josiah Martin. Josiah Martin was, I believe, this January's Student of the Month. Come up, Josiah. You already met the gentleman.
Thank you.
As again, we don't want to dwell on the negatives. We try to perpetuate the positives, and we recognize students are doing what we're asking them to do and going above and beyond to help improve our school environment and be leaders by example. So those are the things that we are very proud of. And the next one is Miss Megan Reichert. Come on up, Megan. So you already heard these guys speak. Again, I will accept these gifts. I don't know what's in this bag. I also want to give a shout out to Miss Tab. Miss Tab is sponsors all type of events, FBLA, community, our leaders, future leaders. She's nurturing them. She takes her time on the weekends. It takes them to D.C., takes them to different summits, and she is helping to nurture our future leaders. So thank you, Miss Tab, for.
All right. Thank you. We also have the Wilkins Spirit Awards this evening. Ms. Klein.
My name is Allison Klein. I'm the principal at Wilkins Elementary STEAM Academy, and every month the Woodland Hills School District features a specific school of the district to honor students and just recognize those schools. So we had a lot of nominations this year, probably more than I've ever received, for the Wolverine Spirit Award for students to represent Wilkins, and the choice was very difficult. That is why we selected 3 students rather than just 2. So I'm going to ask Ms. Tomko to come up because she nominated our first Wolverine Spirit Award winner, Link Ensley. Link, try to come up.
I nominated Link because he is an all-around excellent student. He shows leadership qualities and helps his peers when needed. Link excels in all academic areas and always puts forth extra effort. He is respectful, polite, and always has a friendly smile. One day, Link will be the brightest of the stars. I'm proud of you, honey.
Our next Wolverine Spirit Award winner is Maya Williamson. Maya, we come up. Maya was nominated by Miss Yardnot, And also Mr. Little, who couldn't be here, so I'm going to have Ms. Yarnock present this. And that'll all shine. Great.
So Maya is a wonderful student who works hard in her small group class and in a large classroom. She strives to do her best even when the material is tricky. Maya exemplifies the 5 Ps of Wilkins. Maya is the type of student who always seems to make good choices. While walking throughout the building, Maya walks with a quiet sign up every time. She is kind and honest and deserves to have her efforts recognized.
And Wilkins' last Wolverine Spirit Award winner is Donnell Jackson, nominated by Mrs. Pollock, who I could not fit everything on this that she wrote.
I didn't know this was going on a plaque.
So it's
Okay. So, Donnell, we have a little bit of a special relationship. It's kind of uncommon that a teacher gets a student for 4 years in a row, but this young man has been mine for 4 years, so it's been amazing. But what I wrote about Donnell, he is a presence. The moment he walks into a room, it lights up. Donnell has the utmost respect for his teachers as well as his peers. He has managed to form a friendly relationship with just about every single staff member, and that is no exaggeration. Lunch ladies, custodians, everyone. Donnell can always be counted on to serve as a role model for other students. He's a problem solver when his peers are having a disagreement. He is a shoulder to cry on when a friend is having a hard time. He's a student who can always be counted on and trusted to do the right thing. He is even comic relief when he busts into his epic dance moves. Above all else, Donnell is the most hardworking, determined student I have ever had. He pushes himself to learn and succeed. I am in awe of his kindness, diligence, and ability to overcome any challenge thrown his way. And he's just the best ever.
Am I just going right to
It's still you, Miss Klein.
Okay, so as I said, I'm the principal of Wilkins Elementary STEAM Academy, and I was asked basically to just give a quick glimpse of who we are. So first, the basics, our demographics. We have 482 students, 265 males, 217 females. That is as of yesterday. I think I have one coming tomorrow. But 64% are African American, 21% white, 15% other. 73% of our enrollment of our students are classified as economically disadvantaged. 28% have special needs, and 2.5 are English language learners, which is the first time I've actually had to put that on there because it's usually less than 1%. That is definitely new this year. We have 24 homerooms from pre-K to 5 and 61 staff members. Our curriculum, which is across the board of all the pre-K to 5 buildings. And I don't need to read through this all. I just want to highlight, we do have the Reading Wonder Super Kids and the Ready Math. Our reading and math diagnostic program is given 3 times a year, and we use it to plan intervention, specific individual interventions for students. And something that just occurred a couple weeks ago, thanks to Mr. Wilson, we now have the iReady reading lessons. We had the math from the start of the year. We now have the reading again. And each quarter we have a maker or science showcase, depending on what project the grade level did. And I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. The STEAM electives, we have a rotating special. We've had performing arts and the business and computer technology course for the first 2 quarters. Right now we are in the middle of the Spanish. Also, as part of our STEAM initiative, we are part of the Remake Learning Days, which is across the whole of southwestern Pennsylvania, Virginia, or I'm sorry, part of West Virginia and Ohio, and we will have our evening in May. So we're already registered for that, and it will be called the Wilkins Wonder Works. And it's going to include a 8-drop challenge this year. Okay. So we're also pushed for more special ed inclusion. The after-school program is for 3rd to 5th graders and is through a PAR grant, thanks to Mrs. Golden, and we have 45 students enrolled in that tutoring. They don't all show up every day, but they're enrolled. Our 4th and 5th grade classrooms are departmentalized by math and science and then ELA and social studies, and we have a daily intervention period which is used for flexible small groups, individual tier 2 interventions, and group interventions. And again, go back to the diagnostic program for MyReady. This is where we get a lot of our data to plan those interventions. And of course, we're emphasizing the 21st century skills of coding, technology, and Google Classrooms. Coding is not just done 1 week with the hour of coding. It is infused in our library and media arts classes, and the technology is integrated in all the classrooms. Google Classrooms, I have to say, we're beginners with that right now. So a little bit more about our STEAM projects. Each grade level, every single grading period, every quarter completes a project. They have a lesson plan, a rubric, but they get to, in some cases, pick their own materials. They always do it in group work. So one of the very first ones, first grade, made these little apple pickers just using paper. We had some science planting in second grade, and then even in recess, we incorporate STEAM because the kindergarten classes love those big blue blocks to build with and make little creations with. So we've gone from using paper to make apple pickers in first grade to very popular straw bridges with second and third grade, and even pre-K got into the picture by making bird feeders for our friends outside. So hang on the trees. This grading period, we just had the display with the PTA's Super Bowl, which was really our most popular event so far this year. This is second grade, and this is actually the Master Gardener class, and they made onion stamps. They cut onions in half, and they made stamps and created some art projects. Fourth grade, they were all taken to the makerspace. You can see that's a Ferris wheel in the back. And they were told, take whatever you can find in this room, any junk, anything at all, and make an amusement park. So they all made various rides. And that was a very popular display there. Some of our community partnerships and collaborations include Oasis Tutors, the University of Pittsburgh KinderTech, which is a math study program which they're integrating math or technology into their math curriculum and instruction. The Education Partnership, UPMC Igloo, which provides some mental health assistance. Our PTA and Hugs, which I have to comment is very, very active at Wilkins and has been very, very helpful for me as well. They just show up for everything, so it's been great. The 9 Mile Run Watershed provides 5th grade science classes in the spring, and then that will the 5th grade will go down to the watershed to do a project right there in the field. Turtle Creek Valley runs our prevention groups and provides a SAP liaison with the county. We have the Adiago Power Up Health Program, which comes every month and gives nutrition and health lessons to every grade level. The Salvation Army provides weekend food packages for those who need it. Junior Achievement, actually we'll be working with the high school FBLA for our Junior Achievement Day, which is sort of a mini career day, and of course will help us with our career education and work standards. Penn State Master Gardeners, they work with the second graders, again, and for gardening lessons and science lessons. The Officer Field Program are safety assemblies, which are sponsored by the Wilkins Township Council each year. PAR, which provided the grant for, in conjunction with PAR, we have the after-school tutoring, but PAR runs a leadership group group with 5th grade, and they do a whole social norms program throughout the building. And the Japan American Society of Pennsylvania have provided a few classes on Japanese culture. And then new to us this year is Strong Women, Strong Girls. It's an after-school program, mentoring program for 4th to 5th graders, and our mentors all come from the University of Pittsburgh. Service projects. These are the major service projects throughout the year. There are some other ones that the individual classrooms do, but we have a big Braddock toy drive, and at Christmas, the Turtle Creek food drive a few times a year, which Ms. Tomko runs, actually. Cancer research fundraisers, that's usually a lot of Gene Days. And the Hoops for Heart jump rope event, which just occurred, and it's very popular. The kids have fun and really working and exercising and competing for a good cause. And then there's various holiday cards and Veteran Day cards that are made with Ms. Zarisco, our social worker, does that. So that's kind of the heart of who we are and what we do. And to me, it's the most important aspect because it's our daily life every day. However, every year in April, we take a test. And so we do get scores. So our PSSA ELA, this is the most recent state scores. There are some positives. 35% of our students were proficient or advanced, and that is an increase over last year of 6%. And our African American subgroup went from 27% to almost 33%. So that's definitely an increase. Our economically disadvantaged group went down a couple percent, and this is really good for the improvement plan. Our students with disabilities with special needs went from 0% proficient to 22% proficient. Now, and yeah, it's good. And Ms. Livingston was your last year. Your scores really. Keep in mind that we are a K-5 building now, but this is last year's score, so this is 3rd grade only. Okay. PSSA math. Our all-student group went up by 5%. Our African American group went down 2%. Economically disadvantaged was pretty much level. And again, our students with disabilities went up a whopping 12%. And again, keep in mind this is only 3rd grade. So we're talking about probably 3 students, and the other one is probably 7 students. But when you realize that, and this is what I tell my teachers, when you realize that we jumped from 0 to 22% because we were able to push 7 kids over that line from below basic to proficient or advanced. Okay, so, and that's why from January on, we were really looking at the data, and I asked all the teachers, target 5 or 6 kids. These are the kids that we know just a little bit more pushing, and they're going to go over and be proficient and advanced. And, of course, that doesn't mean we're ignoring the rest, but these are targeted kids. So because our scores have not been high, traditionally we are in a ATSI plan, which simply means additional targeted support and improvement plan. So one of the goals is to increase student achievement on the state ELA by 10% in June. So this next test, we have to increase it by 10% from 2018. Well, the good news is that we've already gone up 6%. So we're more than halfway there. Although I've told the teachers the goal is 10% from 2019. So let's give us off a buffer here. We need to go up more than that. Right, okay. And then the other goal is to decrease chronic absenteeism in kindergarten by 10% by June. The reason, again, it was a K-3 building that they picked kindergarten. It was the highest grade with chronic absenteeism, and the team who created this plan felt that if we get those little ones and their parents understanding how important attendance is, and then it'll just carry on throughout their education. So the good news there is from this September to December, we have dropped that chronic absenteeism by 4%. So again, we'll look at this again in March because we have to do a quarterly report with the state, and then at the end of the year, and we're going to reach that goal, decrease 10%. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Klein?
Could you cite a little bit about something you did special with the special needs kids as far as getting that huge increase? Any particular technique or?
Now, I wasn't there last year, but my understanding is, and I remember this was testing third grade, and what they did was they made one of the classes, at least one of the third grades, a co-teaching classroom, which means those students who were able to be in the classroom as much as possible, they were in a regular third grade classroom for all of math and all of reading, with some pull-out time to the resource room if needed. We do not have a co-teaching group right now. I've certainly have had it in the past, but part of it was just the whole changeover of staff. Excuse me. But we have increased the amount of inclusion for every single child with special needs in the building. So they are in the classroom more often, and every single special ed teacher has more time in their schedule to push into those classrooms.
Great job. Thank you.
Any other questions?
There is one thing. As a district, we've been looking at chronic absenteeism. Absenteeism of our students is really hurting us academically. Okay, yeah, I got some people out there in the audience agreeing. We've been looking at this daily, day by day, student by student, building by building. Parents, you have to send your kids to school. You know, there are some things that we are doing to hurt ourselves with our enrollment process and our timelines. We're correcting that. But the students have to come to school. If they do not come to school, we cannot educate them. Once you get them here, we will keep them here. We'll send them later on. But get them. If they're going to be late, let them be late. Just come to school. Because we have, on average, 10% of our population is gone every day. It's not showing up. So, as you just saw, we can make advancements academically if the little booties are in the seats. If we can get them in, we got them. Just please, if students are tired, whatever, wake them up. We'll feed them breakfast. We'll give them lunch. Sometimes we'll give them dinner. Just get them into school. That's all we ask. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Anyone else have anything else? Okay.
Since I'm done, and now it's going to get really boring, you don't have to stay for the whole meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Very bad. You can stay if you want to.
Everybody leaves. Pretty much. I love this party. Right there.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ms. Klein, you could really clear a room. Yeah. Really, you could really just. But everyone over there has to stay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I think we have one more presentation from Washington National Insurance. Assume that's you gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for allowing us to come here and speak in front of you tonight. My name is Joe Cuervo, and this is Ben Weaver. And as mentioned, we represent a company called Washington National Insurance. So what Washington National does is they provide voluntary benefit plans to different employer groups, and what we specialize in is the government, municipal, and school district organizations at no cost to the school district. Okay, so one of the biggest things, there's a lot of differences and a lot of value that we bring in with our plans. And I just want to say that it'd be a privilege to be able to offer and service the people of the school district, the staff, and administration. So the purpose of us coming here this evening is we have met with administration. Seems though as we got the approval from them, so we're just basically trying to get the final approval from all of you ladies and gentlemen here with the school board. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to hand it over to Ben, and what he's going to do is kind of go over what that looks like, some of those plans. Thank you.
All right. Well, first I do have to acknowledge this is my third visit to the school now, and my first time getting a student presence, and it looks like you guys have a pretty awesome student population, which I imagine is a direct reflection of the leadership and the staff that you guys have. So with that, as far as what we're here to do, and as Joe mentioned, we are a voluntary benefit company, and we did meet with Mr. Harris and his crew, kind of went over the nitty-gritty stuff, and I know time is of the essence tonight, so we'll kind of give you the brief version of it, but I did want to address a few things that we talked about with Mr. Harris. I got a little bit of information from them as far as what's already being offered. So we are currently aware that I believe Aflac was that vendor. They do a fantastic job, and I do like to make it clear that we do play very well in the sandbox. We're not here to replace, remove anybody. What's already there is awesome. It's valuable, so we're going to keep it intact for sure. What I did is we just kind of identified a few key areas where we can help improve some of the benefits that are being offered to the staff. And again, it's no direct cost to the school board itself. So, and it is all done on a voluntary basis. But you guys do a fantastic job, better than most of the cases I see as far as the life insurance goes and what you're giving the staff. So that would be the immediate opportunity. They get, looks like 1.5 times their annual salary that's given. They have a buy-up option, which is fantastic. But it didn't look like the spouses or the children of the staff were able to get on those. That's something that we're able to bring to the table, and also we can make ours portable. So it's a permanent and portable life insurance option that we can add to the benefit lineup for the staff. And what's really cool about that, and something we just recently been able to do, is we can guarantee issue it. So when it comes to permanent and portable, sometimes it's difficult to get everybody qualified, but the first time we're bringing it through an organization, we're actually able to do it on a guaranteed issue basis. So all of your full-time staff, 100% will guarantee to qualify regardless of height and weight, blood pressure issues, health hiccups, all that good stuff. So that'd be the key area of opportunity. And outside of that, we of course have products that are similar to Aflac with a few key differences. And what I've found through my experiences is that people like choices, right? So again, not here to replace anything, but on our cancer plan, which happens to be our most popular product that we sell, the main difference and what sets us apart from the other traditional policies is something called return of premium. So what that is essentially is if they get one of either our cancer or our heart attack and stroke plan, and they never have a claim, number one, that's fantastic. They're still happy, they're still healthy, they're terrific. We're actually going to return 100% of the premiums they paid us, so it allows them to have protection for today, yet they still have money for tomorrow, right? Which is kind of a win-win situation. So those would be our main products. Again, the way the actual process works, right, is we're certainly not looking to disrupt the workday by any stretch of the imagination. So typically what we do is we'll sponsor a breakfast or a lunch for the staff, and what we'll get with the principals of each individual building on this one to make sure that we fit their calendar timeline. When they're doing their staff meeting, we don't like one just for us. We don't see the need for that necessarily. So whenever they have the next one coming up, we'll sponsor the food for them. I speak for about 6-7 minutes to kind of give the overview, and then we use survey slips to gauge the level of interest, and then typically we'll follow up with that with a 1 or 2 day enrollment depending on the amount of staff that are in the building, and then we're only catching them, those that were interested, those that filled out the slip during either before, after school, planning period, lunch break, of course non-instructional time as far as that goes. We found that works really, really well. I've got, I know at least one letter here. But this is the most recent one. I'm actually finishing up this enrollment over here at McKeesport School District tomorrow. But I've got several other letters. I know we did Duquesne schools just recently as well. We work with a lot of your guys' neighbors here. And I always ask for a report card, and I will do, of course, the exact same thing with the principals in each building, if that's something that we're able to do with them, because we always want feedback. Just as you guys like to improve, we like to do the same. And, good, bad, and different, we like to address that stuff and get better as we go. So that's kind of the rundown of it in the very short version of that. But is there any questions or concerns that I could address or clarify for anybody at this time?
Does anyone have questions? Okay.
Awesome. I must have did all right then.
I think so. Mr. Harris, is there a tab on for this tonight, or are we going to consider this next month?
Next month.
Next month. Okay. Thanks, gentlemen. If there's anything that comes up in the next few weeks, we'll let you know.
Okay, so we can, just so that I'm clear, we'll follow up with Mr. Harris here in a few weeks and get our final answer?
Yes, please.
Awesome. All right, well, I appreciate y'all's time. Have a great evening.
Okay. That moves us to registered speakers. I don't believe we have any this evening, Ms. Hawthorne.
No, we don't.
Okay. So that'll move us right into board matters 2.1.
Okay, Board Matters 2.1, second reading of revised policy 006 meetings.
This is second reading, so no vote this evening. Any questions on this policy? Okay. Seeing none, 2.2.
2.2, we seek approval to enter into a right-of-way agreement with Duquesne Light Company.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Any questions on the agreement? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 2.3.
2.3, first and final reading of revised policy 220, student expression, distribution, and posting of materials.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Any questions or discussion of the policy? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 2.4.
2.4, first and final reading of revised policy 913.1, non-school organizations, groups, individuals.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 2.5.
2.5, we seek permission to accept 2020 to 2021 Woodland Hills school calendars.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions on the calendars? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 2.6.
2.6, we seek approval of resolution number 544-20, calling for charter school funding reform.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved by Mr. Belmont, second by Ms. Scott. Any questions or discussion?
Got a comment?
Sure.
April 18th, I'll be in Mechanicsburg. There'll be people from all over the state discussing what we can do to improve the charter law. So I'll miss the Dixon opening that day. You're welcome.
Any other comments or discussion of this? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 2.7.
2.7, we seek permission to accept the math per diem MOU between the Woodland Hills School District and the Teachers Union.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion of the MOU? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 3, Curriculum 3.1.
3.1, we seek approval to adopt the 2020 to 2021 curriculum guide.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion of the curriculum guide? Mr. Belmont?
Mr. Wilson, you want to just give us a couple highlights on this?
Sure. Thank you, sir. And thanks for your patience and flexibility, everybody, since I wasn't in town last week. Just a couple of highlights there. Not a whole lot of changes to the curriculum guide this year from last year, but a couple that we want to make sure that we make clear are that we are including recommended pathways for our scholars and expanding opportunities for honors and AP courses, especially for our traditionally underrepresented scholars, and we are ensuring that we include as much as humanly possible college and high school access through our CCAC partnership. So CCAC offers us the ability to have our scholars participate in AP coursework, and regardless of their score on the exams, they can still receive college credit for those courses. And aside from that, there aren't a whole lot of changes.
Does anyone else have questions? Okay, seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 3.2.
3.2, we seek approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Head Start and Pre-K Counts programs in partnership with the Trying Together and the United Way of Southwest PA to support best practices in transition to kindergarten.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion of the MOU? Okay, seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 4, Special Education 4.1.
4.1, we seek approval of the tuition agreement with the added related service with the day school at the Children's Institute. Daily cost is $240 for added related service.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Any questions or discussion? Okay. Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 4.2.
4.2, we seek approval to ratify the tuition agreement with New Story from January 8, 2020 through June 3, 2020. The total cost is $29,029.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 4.3.
4.3, we seek approval to ratify the tuition agreement with Plea School from November 2, 2019 through June 9, 2020. The total cost is $24,000.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, call the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 4.4.
4.4, we seek approval to contract with CPR Simplicity LLC for CPR First Aid Recertification AED training for approximately 60 Woodland Hills staff members on March 13, 2020. Total cost is $2,100.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Ms. Hodge, apologies. Couldn't quite hear that. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 4.5.
4.5, we seek approval to ratify the webinar training services agreement for Ames Web Plus at a cost of $3,000.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 4.6.
4.6, we seek approval to operate an extended school year ESY program in the summer of 2020 at Turtle Creek STEAM Academy for students who are eligible to participate. Estimated cost of in-district ESY program is $157,500. ESY program will run July 6th through July 30th, 2020, from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
Is there a motion? Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Questions or discussion?
Ms. Sackel, can you give us a couple of highlights? I know there's some changes here. Just to point out for the parents at home.
Good evening.
So one of the biggest differences that I am proposing for our upcoming ESY program is to change the program from a Monday through Friday program to a Monday through Thursday program. This will save the district approximately $10,000 for the 4-week program. However, we would like to add a music program to the ESY sessions. We had a little bit of a taste of it last year where Great Point Resources worked with the students every day and they put on a little mini performance. I know, Mr. Harris, you were present for that performance. This year they're going to focus more on it being a daily occurrence, and then we are going to use the auditorium, invite the families in to for the children to present their little musical program. So that's something we're very excited about. So part of that money is going to go towards this music program. We really want to make the ESY program from start to finish meaningful for the students. There's still going to be a very strong academic component, but they also are going to have fun, and it's going to be structured. There's going to be social activities that are provided every single day. Questions?
Yeah, we discussed in committee specifically why you want to go Monday through Thursday instead of Monday through Friday. Can you also discuss that?
Yes. So what I did was I took a look at the ESY programs, not only with surrounding school districts, but also with the specialized programs that we send our highest need children to. And I have numbers available. To give an example, last year, we provided 90 hours of ESY programming for our students. When you look at schools such as Sunrise School, Pathfinder School, PLE, they're offering 64 hours. So these are our students that we cannot meet the needs of within the district, so we send them to an out-of-district placement. Highest level needs students, they're receiving between 60 and 64 hours of ESY programming. Our district is providing 90 hours. So what I wanted to do was condense that time to make it meaningful and also be able to meet the needs of the children.
So we're not missing anything. We're still having a full program,
Yes.
even going from Monday through Thursday.
Yes, we are still going to be offering 72 hours of programming, which is still above the average for the out-of-district placements.
Thank you.
And kind of to Mr. Harris' point, with our typical students, you'll find, and you had mentioned this, on Fridays, a lot of absentee, so it's sort of kind of like wasted time and space. So with a concentrated, condensed schedule, we can get more academics and activities done within those 4 days versus just kind of...
That is correct. We looked at the attendance from the programming that we offered in 2019, and the average attendance Monday through Thursday was 76 students. The average attendance on Friday was 46 students. So there is a significant difference.
So not just about saving money, it's just about using our time wisely. And
Absolutely, yes.
Other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Seeing no further questions, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 4.7.
4.7, we seek approval to contract with Grade Point Resources to facilitate the Woodland Hills School District Extended School Year, ESY Program 2020. Cost is $107,402.32.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Questions or discussion on the contract for ESY? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 4.8.
4.8, we seek approval to ratify the tuition agreement with New Story from February 10, 2020 through June 3, 2020. Total cost is $22,011.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Questions or discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 5, Pupil Personnel, 5.1.
5.1, we seek approval of the MOU between Community Schools East and the Woodland Hills School District.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on this tab? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 5.2.
5.2, we seek approval to accept the request for services between Holy Family Institute and the Woodland Hills School District.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Okay. Seeing none, I'll note that I will abstain from this vote as Holy Family is a client of my firm. Other than that, we will call the vote. Motion carries 8 with 1 abstention. That was Section 6, personnel, 6.1.
6.1, Section A, authorization for leaves. Section B, authorization for retirement, resignation. Section C, authorization to hire professional staff. Section D, authorization to hire non-professional staff. Section E, authorization for EDR mentor actions. And Section G, authorization for miscellaneous.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Discussion of this would require executive session. Any need for such? Okay, seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 6.2.
6.2, it is the recommendation of the administration that the professional contract of Gary Sandy be terminated for reasons set forth in the notice of hearing and statement of charges dated January 15th, 2020.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Again, discussion would require executive session. Any need for that?
Yes. And I say yes, as long as we make it that it is a motion to approve the recommendation of the administration.
Okay.
See that on.
Amenable to a friendly amendment?
Yep.
Okay. Then we'll make the tab as amended. Any Any additional? Okay. Anyone need to step into executive to discuss this? Okay. Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 6.3.
6.3, we seek approval of the MOU between the Woodland Hills School District and the Woodland Hills Educational Support Professionals Association.
Is there a motion? Is there a second? Moved by Ms. Curry, second by Ms. Strasbach. Questions, discussion on this? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 7, Technology 7.1.
7.1, we seek approval to enter into a 5-year agreement with School Messenger, a new robocall system for the amount of $61,125 per year.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 7.2.
7.2, we seek permission to advertise a request for proposal, RFP, for a new yearbook vendor for the high school.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 8, Safety and Security, 8.1.
8.1, we seek permission to terminate the contract with Dynasty Security per paragraph 15. We must provide 30 days notice to Dynasty. 30 days from the January 29th meeting would be February 29th.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Oh, sorry.
Mailing. I should probably say mailing.
Mr. Petrogallo.
Mr. Petriello, yep.
I believe there's a question on notice.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was 30 days from the January 29th notice, not the meeting, correct?
That's correct. The initial notice went out electronically and by U.S. mail on the 25th of January.
Okay. What I would do is I would change that, the word meeting to notice, then also we seek permission to ratify the termination. Okay?
Okay. Amenable to that? Okay. The tab will be as amended for the vote. Any questions on that? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 8.2.
8.2, we seek permission to enter into an agreement with PAL American Security at the same terms of the Dynasty Security contract for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year, pending solicitor's review.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Seligson. Questions or discussion on this? I have one, Mr. Petrogallo. This is only for the remainder of the school year, and we will issue an RFP shortly
That's
for
correct.
new services for the coming years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, we will take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 10, Buildings and Grounds, 10.1.
10.1, we seek ratification and approval of the emergency repairs and replacement of the domestic hot water systems at Edgewood Elementary Steam Academy, building by Mealy Mechanical, totaling $43,323.02 from the General Fund 10.
Is there a motion? Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on this? Okay. Mr. Gigliotti, have we heard from the insurance company about this?
Not yet.
Okay. Please keep us apprised.
I will.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 10.2.
10.2, we seek approval of change order PC-004, Shipley Brothers Plumbing, Inc., totaling $4,000.78 from Capital Project Fund 39.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on the change order? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 10.3.
Okay, we would like to submit the next 6 items, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, as one vote. Consent item.
Is there a motion to make those into a consent? Is there a second? Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Mr. Graves.
Okay.
Oh, this is just to combine them, so
Correct.
you can do that a voice vote. All those in favor of making those one motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. No.
Okay. Is there a motion on the consent item?
Moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Mr. Graves. Okay. These are the contracts for the high school Phase 2 project.
If you wish to, it'll be a verbal vote. And if you're going to vote all. If you're going to vote no, let me know what item you're voting no on, so I can record it.
If there are any that you want to specifically...
Yeah, just specify,
Right. If there's anything.
Your vote for all.
Okay.
Mr. Graves?
All.
Ms. Seligson?
All.
Ms. Scott?
All.
Ms. Lawson? Ms. Curry?
All.
Ms. Hodge?
All.
Ms. Strasbach?
All.
Mr. Belmont?
All.
Ms. Glasser?
All. That's unanimous. That moves us to 10.9.
10.9, we seek approval for new service with Security Systems America, SSA, for Dixon Preparatory STEAM Academy for fire and police annually at $20 monitoring fee per month.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions on this one? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 10.10.
10.10, we seek approval of outside organization to utilize district facilities. However, this needs to be amended. There is a private service that's going to be happening at the Rankin School next week, which has not been included in this because we were just made aware of it this afternoon. So I would like to add that as an amendment too.
Is there a motion on the tab that would be as amended?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions on the outside use? Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 12, Legal Matters.
12.1, we seek approval of compromise of delinquent district taxes on 1411 Brinton Avenue, Block and Lot 374-P-211, and 1413 Brinton Avenue, Block and Lot 374-P-212, North Braddock, upon transfer of the property to Robert McCune III for a fair market value purchase price of $14,000 and the district's receipt of at least 85% of the delinquent district taxes, $9,982.64, from a pro-rata distribution of the proceeds after paying the expenses of the sale.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions on this? Okay. Mr. Vogel, do I understand correctly that this is an option that we have only because the property is being transferred? Are we? We're forgiving some taxes here
Yes.
as a result of a transfer.
Yes.
Generally, we don't have ability to do that on delinquent tax issues, correct?
Well, that's, yes.
We can do it when there's a transfer.
You can't do it when there's a transfer, not when there's someone still retaining ownership of the property.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because we've had some discussion about other properties recently, so I wanted to make sure that was clear. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll take the vote.
You having
Yes.
trouble? Okay.
Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to Section 13, School Finance, 13.1.
13.1, we seek ratification of the bill list for invoices paid after the January 15, 2020 legislative meeting.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on the ratification list? Okay, seeing none, we'll take the vote.
Yes, my computer's wacky.
Yes, it is.
Do we need a page, Steve?
I'm just going to try restarting it.
Okay.
How would you like to vote on this one?
Please.
Okay.
Motion carries unanimously. 13.2.
13.2, we seek approval of the February 2020 bill list.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on the bill list? Okay, seeing none, take the vote.
I'm restarting. Yes.
Okay.
Motion carries unanimously. 13.3.
13.3, we seek the acceptance of the January 2020 fund reports and student activity reports for informational purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously.
13.4, we seek approval of the investment reports for January 2020.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on the investment reports? Okay, seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 13.5.
13.5, 13.5, we seek approval of the budgetary transfers for February 2020.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbaugh, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Okay. Seeing none, we will take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 13.6.
13.6, we seek approval to open a bank account with PLGIT, a Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, to consolidate the capitalized interest from 2018 and 2019 accounts.
Is there a motion?
Moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carried unanimously. 13.7.
13.7, we seek approval to file real estate tax appeals for 2020.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions on the appeals? Okay, seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. 13.8.
13.8, we seek permission to exonerate the tax collectors for the unpaid non-installment real estate taxes for the 2019 tax year.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions on the exonerations? Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Moves us to section 14, superintendent, 14.1.
14.1, we seek approval to establish a student activity at the Woodland Hills High School named Coding Club.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions or discussion on the new club? Okay. Seeing none, we'll take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to 14.2.
14.2, we seek permission to approve the MOU between the Woodland Hills School District and the Community College of Allegheny County for dual enrollment.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Strasbach, second by Ms. Curry. Questions about this agreement? Okay. Seeing none, take the vote. Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Is there any old business? Mr. Belmont?
Last month, I voted in opposition to the Churchill Charter School, and I commented at the time about the successful students that came through our schools. And I was remiss in not recognizing 5 of my colleagues up here who are exactly what I was talking about: David, Charday, Marilyn, Jamie, Carrie. I wanted to include you guys in that group.
Thanks, Mike. You're so
Very kind.
sweet.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other old business? Okay. Any new business? Okay. We did committee reports last week, but I will remind everyone that we have committee meetings next Tuesday and Wednesday, 5 p.m. here in the administration building. Hope to see all of you and many members of the public at those meetings. Any other reports at this point? Okay. Okay, seeing none, that moves us to public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board at this time? Seeing none, section 19, adjournment.
19.1, we seek permission to adjourn the February 19th, 2020 legislative meeting.
So moved. Second. Moved by Ms. Seligson, second by Ms. Strasbach. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. See you all next week for committees.